Do you ever wonder what food you should bring when you go backpacking? Stay tuned and I'm going to show you. Hello and welcome to Spirit Forest. I am in my car right now and we are going to be heading into the grocery store, and I'm going to show you what it is that I buy when I go backpacking and things to look out for that work really well at backpacking. Okay, this is our grocery store here in Colorado, King Soopers. Let's head on in. Okay, I would love to get these, but you cannot get these for backpacking. Any of this stuff in the fruit section or anything, anytime I've ever tried it, it doesn't work. It gets smushed and it's just nasty. So let's head on over to the dried area. Okay, I'm going to show you what I buy for a 3-day backpacking trip. And I'm looking around for some fun stuff. Yummies. Okay, I found my first thing. This keeps really well. Ooh, it's yummy. Love this with some cheese. You just cut it up. It is a little bit heavier, so if you have multiple people, you can share it. So that's the first thing in our basket. Okay, I don't do this all the time, but sometimes I get some nice tortillas. And if you get one that has some more flavor on it, that is better. So I am choosing this tomato basil wrap. Sorry about this, but I got to do some voiceover. The grocery store was playing a lot of copywritten music, and I always get a lot of notices on YouTube when I have music in the background. So I am going to just do some voiceover a little bit for this, and then I'll be taking the food back to my house and go over it in a little bit more detail of what I chose. Always a good idea to have a lot of like trail mix type things. Now, I'm allergic to nuts. I don't know if you guys know that. I'm allergic to nuts, so a lot of times I have to avoid these areas because they could have nuts in them, as you can see. But they also have oats, and I love oatmeal. You guys see me eat oatmeal all the time, but feel free just to go in there and start grabbing whatever it is that you need. It is really lightweight stuff and pretty healthy for you. This I had last year for the first time, and I absolutely loved it. Macaroni and cheese, really cheap. You can see the price right there. I'm going to try something new this time. Now, all of these here that you're looking at are perfect for backpacking. They're all lightweight. You're looking at anywhere from like $1 to $2 per box. I've never tried this jambalaya, but I'm going to try it. And if you look, it just is a teaspoon or a tablespoon of oil and 2 cups of water. It's perfect. This is a classic for me. I've had this so many times when backpacking. They have tons of flavors, and again, really inexpensive. Couscous, you can't go wrong with couscous. Gotta try that. Add your own spice to it. All you do is boil water, stick it in, and you wait a little bit and it expands. It's perfect. Okay, the bowl noodles. These have all different kinds of flavors, really flavorful stuff. It's like an upgrade from a ramen. This is all the little rice mixtures here. Just be sure to read the back package and see how long it takes to cook. Oh, mashed potatoes, Kyla's absolute favorite. I actually went backpacking with some mashed potatoes, and a chipmunk got into the bag and it expanded. That chipmunk must be huge, but perfect. Cup of noodles and ramen, you can't go wrong there. It doesn't have a lot of flavor to it, but you can add stuff to it later. Oh, I found these. This is like homemade noodles. Absolutely love them. But the good thing about them is that when I looked on the back, you could see that it only takes 3 minutes to cook it. 3 minutes. So that really does count. So look to see how long it takes to cook them. You can mix up your own spices. I like the ones that are already mixed for me, like the Dash or this one right here. Really nice. I just add a couple baggies, just add a little more spice to stuff. I do love oatmeal, so I am trying to change it up. I've been told not to use the Quaker oatmeal. However, Quaker oatmeal is really good and easy to pack. You can also pack some cereals, different kinds of cereals, put it in a baggie. You don't really need milk, just eat it dry. Oh, California apricots, my absolute favorite. Actually, it weighs a lot, but it's like my treat on the trail. Mashed potato, or not mashed potatoes, what is that? Pancakes. Yes, I love pancakes. That is like, you know, those bars that you can just buy. I always buy this one. I really like it and enjoy it. It's good stuff. Pop-Tarts, yeah, I know they're unhealthy. I know that, but I love them and they taste good. It's a nice treat. Beef jerky, yes, gotta have beef jerky. Always have some protein when you're out on the trail. It's important. You're gonna crave it. Sometimes you want to flavor your water, so kind of look for the ones that are like the ones that you just pour in. Cookies. Oh, I must have a sweet tooth here because best cookie to bring is an Oreo because they don't melt and they keep really well, and if you crunch them up they're still pretty good. I must have a sweet tooth here, but M&Ms melt in your mouth, not in your hands, so that is a treat for me when I'm out in the country as well. Freezer bags, yes, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this later, why you would want a freezer bag rather than the other little cheap little bags that you would buy for just a sandwich or something like that. Cheese. Oh, I love cheese, and I can't always bring it. If you're going to go on just a couple days, bring some cheese. You can stick it in a river and they'll harden up. Really good, but I'm not bringing it this time. Oh, popcorn. Yes, popcorn. No one thinks about popcorn, but you could totally bring popcorn, and it has a lot of different flavors to it. Oh, so I was looking for some electrolyte powder. I couldn't find it in the adult format, so I found it in the Pedialyte, but I want to let you know that you should get that. The baby section has a ton of stuff that has fun flavors. The yogurt melts, which are one of my favorites. I talk about them in multiple videos. So check those out as well. This is a little bit different. These are like baggies of meat, but it's so easy. You don't have to have a can to open. You just open the bag and they come in all these wonderful flavors as well. Oh, and they're thin. Look how thin that is. See how thin that is? So it packs really good. And they also have it in chicken. Now this one's a little bit thicker, but if you have a group of people coming, I recommend to do that, maybe with some noodles and stuff like that. So you might ask me, why am I not doing a Mountain House? Why don't I just pack a bunch of Mountain House? Well, sometimes I recommend it for those people that it might be too hard to, you know, come up with whatever food that you want. I have to admit, I haven't had a Mountain House or those type of meals in a long time, but when I did, I just didn't like it. I felt it was just too salty for me, and so that's why I ended up going to the grocery store, and it ended up being pretty expensive as well, where, you know, I would say that the food that I purchased was probably about $20 for 3 days. And I do have leftovers, so like my jambalaya there, I'm only bringing half of that. You know, and I'm probably going to have some leftovers too, which I'll talk about later as well. But I find it's less expensive. I know the food. I know how to cook it. I know it's really fast to cook. So I'm just gonna, I just stick this way rather than going the Mountain House way. Maybe someday I will try a Mountain House again and see if I change my mind. Okay, now I am back at my house. I have gone taking you grocery shopping, picked all the stuff out, and now I have it laid out here of the stuff that I have chosen for my 3-day backpacking trip. I am actually not going on a backpacking trip right now, but I'm just showing what it is that I would do if I were to pack for a backpacking trip and all the food that I would bring for it. I'm going to go ahead and bag these up because I will end up using them later in the year, or possibly in a few weeks for backpacking. It is all mostly dry food. The only thing that is not dry food is this one right here, which is my my sausage. So I might not cut that up, but I'll tell you guys how much I would actually cut out of that. Rocky, come here, Rox. Come here, buddy. You want to get in? I don't know if you can see him. Come here, Rox. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah, he saw the sausage, and he was like, yeah, I want some sausage. I want some sausage, Mom. Okay. Let me get back up here. So again, what I'm going to do, I showed you guys the bags that I recommend to use, which are freezer bags. They're thicker. They cost a little bit more, and but I do feel that they're a little bit thicker. What happens is, again, the food intermixes with each other. So once I take this out of the box and I put it in a bag, and then I take this out of here and I put it in a bag, and then I stack them all together, by the end of the trip, everything tastes the exact same because it has all the same scents to it. So just trying to separate them a little bit is just kind of nice for you. It's not a necessity, but that's the reason why I use the freezer bags when I can. Okay, I'm gonna get these in bags and then I'll weigh it and I'll kind of let you know what a 3-day backpacking food weight would be for me. Okay, now I have taken everything out of the boxes, out of the bags and in the boxes, and put them all into little nice little baggies now. This is what I do when I go backpacking, is I arrange everything in nice little baggies. You gotta think about when you're backpacking about the trash that you're gonna produce. As I use an item, this is the only trash that I'm going to produce, which is this little baggie. So it makes it really easy and nice to carry out. Okay, so I'm going to go over the items again really fast of what I have chosen. For my breakfast, I have some oats. This is kind of more of like a trail mix kind of thing, so I don't really need to heat up any water. I can just eat right out of this bag in the morning while I'm hiking. And so this is good for me for 3 days. Then as lunch, let's go to lunch. Lunch, I have multiple items that I can choose from, so I do like variety. I do have some mashed potatoes. This is some mashed potatoes. I know it really well, so I know exactly how much water to add. Even if I were to separate the bag in half and only have a little bit, and I only want to have a little bit of mashed potatoes, then I can just have a little bit of mashed potatoes as a snack. So this is one of my lunch items that I might mix in with some noodles. If you remember from before, I like these noodles. These are like handmade noodles, and they only take like 3 minutes for them to cook, which is some of the things you got to think about when you're out there, especially like at lunchtime. I want to eat really fast, so that's why I have these noodles as one of the options for me. Another thing regarding eating really fast, probably the best thing to do, I think, is couscous. All you have to do is boil water, stick this in there, and wait maybe a minute, and it's done. So it's really fast to cook couscous. Now currently right now this couscous doesn't have any herbs or spices in it, but I do plan on adding some spice to it. I might even add some dried mushrooms and stuff like that to it. But it'll be about this size, and that is again couscous. For my snacks, I do have some beef jerky. I love beef jerky. My favorite thing in the world is on the trail is freeze-dried berries. I love freeze-dried berries, and fruit. I have a little treat for me. This is the only chocolate that I have packed for this trip, and that is some M&Ms. It's nice to always have some sort of chocolate with me. And then I have some more fruit because I like fruit as a snack on the trail. And this is some dried, not freeze-dried, but just dried apricots, cut in half. They're the California kind. Oh, they're so good. Okay, so that is my snacks. As for my dinner, I showed you guys this before. I got some sausage. I would probably, and again, I'm not going to cut this open right now because I'm not backpacking tomorrow, but I would probably only cut about that much of it, and I would only use that much of it. I have some jambalaya here. That would be mixed in with some of the sausage as well, so I think that would be really good. I might even put some freeze-dried mushrooms in there as well, or some other spices if I want to add it to be a little bit more spicy. I have some buttered noodles. This is actually enough for 2 meals. I really wouldn't eat all of this in one sitting for dinner, but this would be good for 2. I do have some backups, which would be my macaroni and cheese. So in this case, and it has happened before that I got dropped off at a trailhead and then I needed to be picked up again, and then there was a mudslide that happened and the person couldn't come to me for a couple days. So I always usually have some extra food with me. This is pretty extra. So I'm really going on the bigger side of being able to stay out there. This could be enough for possibly 5 days is what I'm packing for. 3 days is what I'm saying, but I could survive on this for I could survive on this for a while actually. Okay. And then my tortillas, I brought 3 tortillas. I decided to keep it in their same bag. It is a very lightweight bag, and I feel that this would be just fine. What I would plan to do with tortillas, which is really nice, is I just wrap all this stuff and eat it that way. Like my jambalaya, I'd be eating that way as well. So let's weigh this and see how much all this stuff weighs. You guys want to do a guess before I show you? I would like to know how much this stuff weighs. Okay, I'm looking at it. Can you guys guess how much it is? Okay, I'm giving you time. It's 3 pounds. 3 pounds of food. My heaviest piece of food is my oatmeal and my dried apricots. So those are the 2 things also that I'll be eating continuously on the trail. So I hope I gave you guys some great ideas. That was the purpose of this video in regards to what you could pack while you're backpacking, not just use Mountain House or any of those pre-made meals, but actually create kind of your own and be creative on it. It's a lot cheaper, I feel, but you know, you got to add your own flavors, the flavors that you like. I do recommend for you to try some of this at home before you take it out in the backcountry, but sometimes that's kind of an adventure too for me, when I just go out there and be like, I never cooked this before, this should be fun. Think about the time it takes to boil your noodles. For example, my jambalaya, it's a 10-minute simmer. So with that being said, I know that that one's going to take a long time, but with my other items such as my couscous and those noodles that only take 3 minutes to cook, you know, I know that I have enough variety in there, so that way I'm not going to use up my stove too much. And my breakfast is not being cooked, so it's a dry breakfast. So again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.